This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning. Welcome to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Here we hope to help you answer the question, how do I start my own business? That question then leads to others like, where do I access capital? What's going on this week in business that I should know? How should I handle accounting and bookkeeping? How have other small business owners found success? We take on those questions and more every week here on Business, Equity, and Opportunities. We speak directly to local business owners and educators and other community leaders who've been through the process. They offer timely, accurate advice to help you as you start and develop your business. We tackle every week 7 topics designed to cover all the things that a small business may and will encounter. We're here every Sunday morning at 10 on Wish TV. You can also catch the live stream, wishtv.com. And you can access some of our recent content anytime and share it on demand at BE&O.show.com. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter. We update it every Tuesday. And be sure to check out our podcast, listen and subscribe so you won't miss a minute. So let's get down to business. Here's what's coming up today on Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Does your business need help getting started? Just say Y.E.S. We visit a local nonprofit that has had success funding its programs using Kickstarter. The boss of our online arm returns with a new digital download for the new year. And our top money manager looks at how and when you, as the owner, should treat yourself like an employee. And a local author and consultant talks setting goals and visions for 2023. Our industry focus takes us to Tipton to meet with a custom painter. And we meet another champion of diversity in our success story. First up, it's getting started. If you are starting your own business, you don't have to go it alone. There's help out there.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Shamika Anderson is the Chief Strategy Officer of Y.E.S. Consulting. The firm provides services and advice to new business owners to help them build the framework they'll need to develop a strong foundation for growth.
So I'm a native of Indianapolis, went to public schools my entire life. I started in this business because I was always giving unsolicited advice. Well, it was very solicited, but I was doing it pro bono for friends and family. And one day, a few of my friends said, Shamika, you should really make a business out of this because your advice, it really works and it's helped us. And so about 6 years later, I came up with the idea, the concept, and Y.E.S. was born in 2020. A lot of the times when people start businesses, they have this really great idea, but they don't do anything with it. And so part of what Y.E.S. does is help you create these steps to achieve your goal. So it's, yes, I want to make $1 million in a month. Every day, what are you going to do to make that $1 million? And even though I do have a small business, I've also managed to work in corporate America, managing enterprise projects. So that has really helped my skill set as well to helping diverse customers, ensuring that all of my clients who have different businesses achieve each of their goals in their own separate rights. One of the first thing that you need to do is develop your business plan and ensure that that is together. If you need help with that, there are individuals like myself who can assist you with that from start to finish. Once you have your business plan, ensure that you have your goals aligned. I like to kind of start them off in 3: administrative, professional development, and marketing. You can fit pretty much anything into those 3 categories. Marketing, it can be anywhere from a website to social media to billboards. Professional development, how is you as a business owner, how are you going to put a spin on your product and sell it and ensure that when people see you, they see your product and they're going to buy into that idea? And then also administratively, can we record keep, bookkeeping, emails, ensuring that all of your slogans are top notch, everything is running smoothly so that way when you step outside of your business and you launch it, people will see your business 100% and be ready to buy into the idea. Right now, 100% of my clients are African American startups in different industries. One of my focus areas is every time I have a client, they will have a different market. I have one client, they are a juice business, Juice Remedy, organic cold pressed juices. One client, she manufactures wig hats. Another client is in the health and fitness industry. I have another client in the sports industry for basketball teams, specifically in athletics. And so it is very important for these business owners to be seen, to be heard, and to grow their profits. One of the things I believe that people, when they start a business, they go wrong at is thinking that their idea is too small. It takes nothing to go to the Secretary of State's website and to start your business. And when I say takes nothing, you can literally sit at your computer, create your business idea, go through the entity process, create your business, get your LLC started. That's just the first step. And it's super easy. You can do it from sitting at home on your couch, and then your ideas will flourish. And if you can't let them, or if they won't flourish, hire somebody like me to assist you with that. One of my slogans is that thank you for saying yes, right? And some people say yes to the dress, yes to the proposal, yes to buying the house. But when you say yes to a consultant, that is literally you having someone come in to assist you with your business. It's not, hey Shamika, I want to do this idea, don't tell me if it's right or wrong. I literally help you. We walk side by side, hand in hand, so that you can achieve your business goals. And that truly gives me joy when I can see an idea come to life in my clients. They're opening up their store or they're growing their revenue month over month. Those are the things that bring me joy daily. Think of all of the current billionaires and where they started off at. Some people started their now multi-billion-dollar businesses in their garage. They started in their, selling services out of their car, like, mobile makeup businesses or different things like that. Do not get frustrated. It is going to be okay. Take a breath. Realize that what you're doing is going to have payback. It may not be today, it may not be in a year, but if you keep working diligently, daily, all the time, your business will be very successful. I promise you.
Getting started. Made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
If you'd like to get more information about getting your business started or any of today's topics, visit our website. It's beoshow.com. If you have questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us, beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. When we return, how the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library uses a popular fundraising program to kickstart its programs. That and more after we do a little business too. Stay with us. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Time to access capital. In past weeks, we've looked at how local entrepreneurs have used fundraising websites to help launch their businesses. Those same sites can be useful to nonprofits and not-for-profits as well. We go to the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library to do some research.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Chris Cecil Jr. is a board member for the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. He explains how fundraising websites, often used by small businesses to access capital, have also become an important arrow in the museum's quiver.
Well, certainly with fundraising, probably for any nonprofit, but especially here at KVML, there's a lot of dirty work that goes into it. So having a great staff that really covers all the bases, leaves no stone unturned, really helps set an organization up for success. With Kickstarter just being one of those examples that we do to kind of raise funds throughout the year. We've actually been using Kickstarter since 2015. In 2016, we actually achieved our highest goal. We have actually not missed a goal yet, year to date, but in 2016, we raised about $100,000 that actually went towards the building here and Kurt's Forever Home on Indiana Ave. All Kickstarter programs are 30 to 60 days, so really you've got that window. But I think when you've got an icon like Kurt and someone that really put Indianapolis on the map globally, there's so much support for him and wanting to kind of give him that forever home here on Indiana Ave. I think that's really what makes it attainable in such a short time. As far as the funds that we just raised, closing out 2022, we have a handful at least that we're going to be kind of supporting in 2023. Something new that we're going to be doing this year that's directly coming from these funds is we're going to be doing a book club hosted by Sophie Maurer. She is our free speech ambassador here at the museum. And so she's going to be reading and recapping once a month, both in person and virtually, different books that have been banned throughout the country. And additionally, some of those funds from last year and going into this year will support our initiative to actually send books to those school districts where his book has been banned. So we'll send copies of Slaughterhouse-5 to students in those areas that want it for free. So I think the ideas are always flowing and kind of ever being generated. As far as funding goes, especially with Kickstarter, there are a few things that you'd have to do. So even though that we've used Kickstarter before, every single year we have to reapply. And part of the application process is you have to submit a video. They really kind of tell the story and the mission of the museum. But then it also kind of explains what you're going to use the funds for. You have to tell what the funds are going to go towards, and then you have to actually explain some of the challenges that you're going to have to overcome throughout the year to make it successful. And like I said, we've had a lot of success on Kickstarter. Kickstarter this year actually recognized our campaign as one of their projects we love, which is a way of highlighting brilliant examples of creativity. And what that means on their website is they actually kind of highlight your profile. They share it in email blasts, and they have over 22 million members. And so one of the great things that it does for us here at KVML is it really exposes us to a new audience. And so when that audience sees the work that we do with our veteran writing programs, our teachers and student programs as well, they really get to see, the work that we do that's deeper than just being a museum, memorial, and library to Kurt. Outside of that, we do marketing videos, throughout the year that, promote our exhibits that we have, that promote the mission and the things that we do out in the community and across the world and across the country too. Kurt's reach is global. I mean, we have people that tune into our programming throughout the year from all over the world, different time zones, different countries, locally here in Indianapolis, and then across the country too. So yeah, Kurt's reach is global for sure. 2015, was our first Kickstarter, and we raised $5,000. That was the goal. We beat it by a little bit, but yeah. So that initial 2015 first Kickstarter was for Banned Books Week. But then 2016 we kicked it up to 100,000, and then this year for 2022 our goal was 45,000, on top of the goal that was our Vonnegut at 100, the celebration as well. A few more things that especially those Kickstarter funds are going to go to in 2023. The Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library this year has applied, and it's looking like we will be a polling station in 2023. But we want to actually take it a step further. And so not only are we going to be a polling station, we are also going to act as a voter education center as well. So we want people to come out, learn about different candidates in our community, and make educated decisions no matter who they vote for. Every year we always host Banned Books Week, and that's towards the end of the year in November. This year was a little bit special in 2022 with Kurt's 100th birthday. But Banned Books Week is always in November. We always host a resident artist. We've got lots of programming. And so really that kind of kicks off or finishes the year for us, so to speak. And so that funding is going to go towards Banned Books Week as well. So if you not only want to just kind of see the museum, but see the museum and be with other members of the CRAS, definitely come check it out during Banned Books Week. One final thing that I can add, that the money is going to go towards from 2022 into the 2023 year, finishing up with Kurt's centennial celebration. On the third floor here where we're standing right now, we've actually added a Vonnegut at 100 exhibit that really starts from Kurt's birth here in 1922 and tells his story and the museum story all the way until 2022. And so part of that money is going to be making that exhibit mobile. So we will be able to take it to other museums, other events really across Indiana, the country, and the world to share Kurt's 100-year plus story. The website we actually just redid at the beginning of 2022. It's beautiful now. You can learn all about the museum, how to get here, how to purchase tickets, but you can also learn about all of our programming as well. So where those funds go. The website is kvml.org. You can see where we're going to be out in the community, the kind of programs and things and special events that we'll be having here as well. The building is actually available for rent for special events, and whatever you want it for, so you can find information on that too.
If you'd like more information about the Kurt Vonnegut Museum or about Kickstarter, visit us online, beoshow.com. While you're there, do sign up for our newsletter for more resources. Next, a fresh digital download with our friend Nelson Spade. Later, Shea looks at how you, the boss, should handle you, the employee. Business Equity and Opportunities returns on the other side of these messages.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
This week in business, the new year means new plans in the ever-changing world of digital marketing, a landscape that's constantly evolving. Reports suggest 2023 will be one of change and growth again. Nelson Spade is General Manager of Circulus Digital Media, Wish TV's full-service digital agency, our sister company and frequent friend of the broadcast. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me back, Scott. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. So marketers, and that speaks to our audience directly, What do they need to be ready for? What do they need to be watching?
There's a lot of themes, expectations, and even some unknowns going into 2023 when it comes to how the year's going to play out. We're keeping our eye on lots of different issues for marketers so we can help educate and inform. A couple that we'll talk on today to start the new year, ad spending shifts, where marketers are spending their money. It's evolving, it's changing, and it's evolving into some new categories, which we'll touch on here in a minute. Gen Z, as crazy as it sounds, is entering adulthood. And they have different expectations, and they're looking for marketers to have a different online experience. And also the pandemic really accelerated e-commerce, accelerated e-commerce on social media, how that's going to continue to evolve, and what platforms are doing to try to gain their share over some other mediums we're keeping an eye on as well.
All right, so let's look at those sort of in roughly that order, though they get tangled up.
Sure.
You're here to untangle them for us. What do people need to sort of understand as in terms of streaming services and other emerging technologies, and how to make sense of it all?
So this is a big thing we're looking at and keeping our eye on. All indications suggest that this year is the year that our blue bloods, when I mention blue bloods, I mention things like Google and Meta, their growth and their share of the overall pie of advertising dollars is going to change. 2023 is going to be the year where they slow down. Maybe they make a little bit more money than last year, or maybe they even have a flat year. That's very different than what we've learned and have expected the last decade when it comes to Google and Facebook and Meta. Explosive growth. The growth is expected to come from some new players, and we're kind of dubbing it retail media. Think of Amazon and Walmart and Instacart. These are businesses that traditionally, their number one revenue source has nothing to do with advertising. It might not even be their number two revenue source. Largest gains year to year are going to be in this sector. Amazon really paved the way here. They really were the
pioneers.
Pioneers, thank you. The creators of combining three things on one platform: search, product, and video. So we're expecting a lot of growth from our retail partners. They have huge audiences, they have a ton of data, and they have loyalty. Think about Amazon.
Let me ask you this. So, and in many cases, our business owners are retailers themselves. Will they have to get through this mindset of, well, this big company's my competitor? In some ways, it may be their partner online.
It might be their partner. It might be a complement to their strategy as well. Maybe not look at it solely from a, like you said, a competitor, but how might this help me solve a different problem? Maybe I'm seeing sales decline in certain areas. Can I prop myself up by utilizing another platform, maybe like an Amazon distribution service?
So don't even view them as a shop at that point, but view them as an opportunity to get your message across.
Correct. The other thing we're looking at too, and a lot of growth opportunity, is the streaming services, like you mentioned. Big topic of the start of the new year. We talked about this last year as well. Netflix is rolling into the market, as well as Disney Plus. Ad-supported tiers. That's an opportunity for those businesses to grow their market share, as well as marketers to use that additional inventory.
Does this cross over to the social media channels then as well?
It does, but maybe in a different way. There is a similarity to what we talked about with the combination of search, display, and video that Amazon really has helped with.
Sure.
Shopping in 2023 likely is going to be driven by advertising more so than innovation. Lots of people buy things via social right now, and Instagram has kind of led that way with shoppable images. That being said, they're making tweaks behind the scene. Be on the lookout for an Instagram or even a TikTok to add in a search capability for products specifically to try to drive social media revenue growth to their channels. Google offered up a really interesting stat. They're predicting that 50% of all social users will buy at least one thing in 2023. Now,
of all users, not people specifically shopping, but just anybody on social.
50% of users. Now, you can look at that two ways. 50 is a really, really big number. But 50 is also half glass, maybe full.
Yeah.
Big opportunity for growth as well.
Wow, fascinating. I do have to say, 2 gift-giving occasions running, my birthday and Christmas, my daughter got me something she first saw on Instagram.
There you go.
It worked. Nelson,
it works.
You'll stay on call for us in 2023,
on call.
Right? Got a long year ahead and a lot of changes
in the digital
landscape. That's our digital boss here at Wish TV and Circulus Digital Media, Nelson Spade. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
When we come back, how to handle employee number 1. You. Our accounting and bookkeeping segment is next on Business Equity and Opportunity.
Grow your business with Wish TV's featured business directory. For less than $200 a month, be one of the limited businesses in 30 different categories, benefiting from one of the top visited websites in Indiana and Indiana's only statewide news station. Space is limited. Contact us today. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Time for accounting and bookkeeping here on Business Equity and Opportunities. One of the familiar contributors we have to our show is Shea, the Chief Financial Officer for Circle City Broadcasting, of course, the parent company of Wish TV and News 8. Thanks for being with us. I want to tackle a topic we've not talked much about, and that is the owner as the employee number 1, if you will. How you should, in a financial sense, treat yourself as a worker in your own enterprise.
Yeah, there are a number of different avenues and choices you can make as a business owner, and it depends on how your organization is set up. But you could potentially put yourself on the payroll, get yourself a standard wage, get yourself a W-2 at the end of the year, or you can stay off the payroll and potentially take owner draws as needed from the company. There are several choices you can decide to do. Obviously, if you set yourself up as an employee, you get that steady paycheck, which you can count on. But some owners will kind of roll with the ebb and flow of the business as it rolls along. Sometimes, that's kind of the responsibility of an owner is, one, you have to stay liquid. There has to be cash in the business. Sometimes an owner can opt to forego payments for a certain amount of time in times of need or strife, I guess.
Our friends at the Department of Labor who've been contributing to us would point out, you can't tell your employees you're not getting paid this week, but I suppose as the owner-operator you could if you're set up that way. Does that bring in too as well, though, some extra, I don't know if dangers is the right word, but things that you really need to be mindful of? If you've not locked in your pay and you decide to be a bit more flexible with things, is that fraught with any additional responsibility or danger?
Certainly you have to consider the tax implications. If you are set up as an employee, you are automatically having tax withheld. And so it's an easy way to kind of pay as you go, for lack of a better term. But, if you are taking distributions, and obviously those monies and the earnings of the company will be taxed at the end of the year, you just have to be mindful that you haven't been paying in as the year has gone along, and in partnership with your tax planner, just make sure you plan for that as the year proceeds.
All right, so taxes are another big issue. Why don't we put a button on this conversation, but promise to revisit it again in an episode soon when we talk about the rest of the employees in your business and some of your responsibilities to them as we hit that part of the year. Shea, as always, thank you.
Thanks so much, Scott.
you'd like to know more wisdom about accounting and bookkeeping from our contributors, or you need information about any of today's segments, visit our website. It's beoshow.com. Be sure to sign up for the Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter, too, to find out more resources in our community. Still to come, goal setting for 2023. That's next in Running Your Business Day to Day, when we return in 90 seconds.
Grow your business with Wish TV's featured business directory. For less than $200 a month, be one of the limited businesses in 30 different categories, benefiting from one of the top visited websites in Indiana and Indiana's only statewide news station. Space is limited. Contact us today.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Running your business day to day and through the year is an important goal. Once you reach that new year, time to decide what you want to achieve in it.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Running your business day to day.
Andrea Butcher is an author, a podcast host, and the CEO of HRD, a leadership development company. She knows the power of the pivot.
Well, leadership is influence. When a drop of water hits a still pond, it ripples out. And every single one of us are creating those ripples every day. And I don't often think people recognize the impact that they have. I mean, a lot of people don't recognize even that they are a leader, but we're all making waves. And it's important to realize that, you know what, you can shape those based on your choices and your behaviors. I've always felt such a call and a desire to help people leverage their own power, their own goodness. We often get stuck in the muck, and when starting a business or any venture, there's passion, there's enthusiasm, and as we get going, stuff pops up that we hadn't anticipated, challenges emerge, and often in the challenge, we can lose sight of our why. And so in the moment, having the discipline to pause and to go back to, like, why did I get started? What are my values? Why am I doing this? That's gonna give you the strength to keep going and to persevere through the challenge. I highlight in the book a lot is leveraging the people around you. You know, it can also be a lonely place to be an entrepreneur, to be a leader in a business. And we often feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in this alone, or nobody gets me. Well, reach out, connect with your tribe, connect with the other people in your business, or even family members, friends that know and get you. And just having somebody to have as a thought partner to talk through it with is naturally going to give you strength. So much of the time we're just reacting to what comes at us, but we're actually shaping our lives all the time based on how we think about our lives. I love this time of the year because it's New Year. It's naturally like goal setting, resolution setting time. But by January 15th, 92% of New Year's goals fail because we go into the new year setting goals from a place of lack, or I don't like this, so I'm gonna set a goal. So I always encourage leaders, go out long term, out where obstacles no longer exist, to a place where you can dream and imagine the possibilities. That's gonna help you get on a roll to set your goals for this year from that bigger picture place. That's what fires me up, is reminding leaders of the power that they have within them to shape their lives. One of my favorite quotes is, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Like, what do you want? What lights you up? What's important to you? Name that and stay focused on that. Life has a way of lining up in relation to that when we have the courage to name it. I think it's all about diversity. Again, none of us are as smart as all of us. We need each other. And so, as a business leader, I know the things that I'm gifted with. I know there are a lot of things I'm not going to bring to the business. I mean, I have a VP of operations that has a detail orientation and a way of leading through problems. I'm never going to think about things the way she does. And so I need that diversity of thought and that perspective. I mean, I can't imagine a business where I don't have that, because I'm just not going to be able to be all things to my business. I need different perspectives, different backgrounds, different experiences to best serve the people that we work with. You know, I was really fortunate a few years ago to be placed on the board of directors for the Indiana Chamber of Commerce. As a small business, I'm there in the room with CEOs from huge organizations and institutions across Indiana, but I have found it to be so welcoming. For the stat that you just said, I mean, there are so many small businesses here. It is such a relational community. The resources, the encouragement around business and business leadership is huge in Indiana. After graduate school, I graduated from Indiana State and stayed and got a master's degree. And then I moved to Chicago for a few years. Loved my time in Chicago, but I found it to be very different from a business perspective, not nearly as collaborative or supportive as Indianapolis. I'm so grateful to be here in our state. I'm so excited about 2023. This is a time of growth for us. We are a leadership development business, and so we come alongside our clients, helping to build leadership capability within their organizations. And there has never been a better time to do the work that we do, just because of what's happening in the world. You know, the workforce demands a different set of expectations today than they did when I joined the workforce. I used to have to work really hard to make the case for leadership development. I can't remember the last time I did that. Businesses recognize it's just the right thing to do. And so I'm looking forward to continued growth, continued service of the organizations that we're working for. There's not a problem in a business that you can't find a leadership challenge at the root of. And so by building leadership capability, I know that we're strengthening the organizations we serve.
If you'd like more information about running your business day to day or any of the segments from today's show, check out our website. It's beoshow.com. Up next, Industry Focus paints a picture of a local custom painting company. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities and our Industry Focus. Painting a property can add value to it, and skilled brushwork is a growing sector in the home services industry.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus. Jason Hummerkaus is the owner of Heritage Custom Painting with home offices in Tipton, Indiana. He took time at a current job site to explain exactly what custom home painting projects are all about.
There's a very small percentage of people that want to professionalize the industry, okay? There are other companies that are professional painters, and they're good technicians. I don't want to take anything away from them, but they might be on a ladder and they're not able to answer your phone call. That just right there in itself took away some of the professionalism. So for us as a company, we want to professionalize the company. So we want to answer the phone call when it rings. We want to solve your problems. We want to get you scheduled quickly and in a timely fashion that fits your schedule. We want to get the project scheduled, get you a clear, precise estimate or quote, and then get that to you so you can begin making decisions in a timely fashion. We want to then do that project in a timely fashion. So there's people and then there's processes. When you join all those together with good systems that allow that professional piece of the painting industry to flow, and when people follow those processes and those systems, it really makes for a great experience. And that's really what we want people to do, is we want people to enjoy the experience of working with us as a professional. And we were talking about this over the holiday season, is the customer service, right? What does customer service feel like? Well, we're human, right? And we want to have this human feel and this touch that says they understand me, they understand my project, they know what needs to happen. And we, most people really feel that through the sales process, and they they get me, and then they kind of get that through the project process. But then what happens after the fact, right? Once the job's done, do you still feel like, and maybe something goes right, something goes wrong, you have another project. And so we want to really serve people where they're at in a professional way. And then we have not only our external clients, who are the people that we're paying for, but then we have our internal clients, right? And those internal clients are our staff who serve the company. And how do we professionally serve them? Well, we give them days off. They just enjoyed yesterday, celebrating New Year's Day, so having, days off or professional days off aren't just for the professional white collar industry. It can be for the blue collar industry as well. And we have, things such as that, or a 401k that maybe they can tap into. What we've gone through with COVID, and the painting industry went through a lack in supply of paint products. And so we had this scare, and I think a lot of people pulled these home projects forward if they maybe were coming time to be due, because an exterior of a house needs to be painted every roughly 10 years, 7 to 12 years. And so, sometimes people will pull those forward. Now they're living in that home, they're not going to sell, they don't want to have the price of things. And so they don't want to absorb the price of an interest rate, so they're going to stay in this home. So I do believe, if I were speculating, I would speculate that they're going to invest where they're at, do what they're doing, and just make it better, nicer, and use the services that a home service industry like painting would do. I think that there are more. The PCA is doing a really good job, which stands for Painting Contractors of America. Used to be PDCA, Painting Decorators Contractors of America. So now they've concised it to PCA. They're doing a really good job of making things more professional, and we're part of some of those education programs where other painting companies are learning and expanding and getting more aware of how to become a professional company, systemizing and helping it so it's a good experience all the way through for a client.
Coming up next on Business Equity and Opportunities, we meet another Champion of Diversity Award winner. It's today's success story. Stay with us.
Grow your business with Wish TV's featured business directory. For less than $200 a month, be one of the limited businesses in 30 different categories, benefiting from one of the top visited websites in Indiana and Indiana's only statewide news station. Space is limited. Contact us today.
Each week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we share a success story from one of our contributors, hoping to inspire you to follow your dreams. This week, we salute another recipient of high honors from Indiana Minority Business Magazine.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
The Mind Trust was founded in 2006. The organization believes that children, no matter their background or circumstances, can excel under the right conditions. Brandon Brown is CEO of the Mind Trust, a Champion of Diversity winner, soon to be honored with the Lifetime Education Advocate Award.
So I was originally born just south of Indianapolis. Grew up in a middle-class family, and really had access to some high-quality schools when growing up. And when I went off to college and started learning about the inequities within our K-12 education system, my eyes were really wide open to many of the existing disparities that we have across the country. And I realized that the schools in the community that I grew up in had the resources to provide a really, first-class education for me and my family. But the reality is that there are millions of students, primarily students of color across our country, who don't have that same access. And I became convicted to really work to do something about it during my career. At first, I chose to be a teacher. So I taught 9th and 10th grade English in St. Louis. And that experience was the most transformative experience of my life. I met so many students that were brilliant and had every ability in the world, but the reality is that the opportunities that were provided for them were not equitable. And I saw my students continue to persevere and continue to accomplish really good things in spite of incredible obstacles. And I also realized that I had these 4 walls in my classroom, and while we could make a lot of progress during the 90 minutes that I had my students every day, the reality is that they would leave that classroom and go out to a world that was incredibly inequitable. And I realized that to create a K-12 education system that works for all kids, we needed to take a system level approach, right? And we couldn't just focus on what's happening in one classroom, but really needed to understand what are the barriers within the system. So then, I'm very impatient. So I eventually left the classroom, moved back home to Indy, and have spent the last 12 years working at a system level to make sure that we're getting access to more students and more kids in our community have access to great schools. So the Mind Trust was founded in 2006 with the mission to work towards a day where all students in our community have access to a great school. Since 2006, we've raised over $200 million to support the growth of a high-quality education system for all Indianapolis students. So in our early days, we were focused on recruiting talent and supporting talented entrepreneurs to launch new organizations within Indianapolis. So since 2006, we've supported the launch of 15 new nonprofit organizations that are serving kids locally and across the country. And we've also, really since 2015, supported the launch of well over 40 schools that are serving thousands of kids in our community. And multiple studies have now shown that new charter and innovation schools launched with support of the Mind Trust are leading their students to tremendous academic gains. So from the beginning, our mission has been consistent. We need to provide all students, regardless of race or income or zip code, with access to a great school. And we feel like we've made tremendous progress since 2006, working towards that mission. We believe at the Mind Trust that the education system wasn't set up to effectively serve all students. And that primarily means that many of our students of color don't have access to the opportunities that they deserve. So at the Mind Trust, we believe in racial equity at our core. So everything we do has to be focused on providing equitable opportunities to all of our students. So when we think about the importance of diversity, we don't just talk about it at the Mind Trust, but we live it out. We make clear commitments, we hold ourselves accountable to making progress towards those commitments. And the reality is that for Indianapolis to be a city that reaches our full potential, we have to maximize the potential of all of our residents. And for too long in cities across the country, the education system has not been an engine of real opportunity, but it's been a real challenge for many historically marginalized students to overcome the obstacles that they have to face every single day. So we are extremely proud to receive this honor. And we do think it is a reflection of the hard work that folks across the entire organization have done now for well over 15 years to really work towards a day where all kids, regardless of race or income, have access to a great school. We also know that while there's been tremendous progress, we have a long way to go. We are nowhere near where we need to be, and we are nowhere near the point where all students in our community have access to a great education. So while we're extremely humbled and excited about this honor, we can't rest on our laurels, and we need to continue to make sure that we're pushing every day to truly realize our mission. We hear from employers all the time that workforce challenges have never been more robust, that we don't have enough skilled workers within our community to meet the demand for many of our growing and emerging industries. So the K-12 system has to be responsive to a 21st century economy. And the reality is that the K-12 system looks an awful like what it did 100 years ago, and the year is 2023. So we have to make sure that we continue to innovate and that we continue to build a quality education system that not only prepares students for life, but prepares them for middle-class, high-wage jobs of the 21st century. And we hear from employers constantly that right now the education system is not doing that enough. So one of the things that we need to do as a community is break down the silos between the K-12 system, higher ed, and workforce, and really figure out how can all three of those sectors work together to ensure maximum success for students and to ensure that our economy continues to grow. I've been out of the classroom for over a decade, but I still have pictures of many of my students in my office. And the pictures are strategically placed on a wall where when I'm in a meeting with an adult, that might be a frustrating meeting, I'm able to shift my eyes over a little bit and I'm able to look into the eyes of my students. And many of the students on the wall in my office have amazing success stories, right? Have overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Some of the students who I look at consistently in my office have not been able to achieve those same successes. So it's the success stories, but then also the stories where we didn't get that same result that continue to motivate me. And I know that a lot of our team members at the Mind Trust have those same stories. Many folks here were longtime educators and can really picture the faces of kids that they've been able to support throughout their career. And the successes and challenges motivate me and I think motivate the organization as a whole.
That is Business Equity and Opportunities for this week. As always, we hope you found our content helpful, interesting, maybe inspiring. You can find more information about the work we do anytime on our website. It's BE&O And please join us again next Sunday, every Sunday morning, in fact, at 10 o'clock here on Wish TV for more information about small business as we champion the entrepreneurial spirit and promote equity, diversity, and opportunity. You can also stream the show live on wishtv.com and find content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. For even more, listen to and subscribe to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. It's part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. And sign up for our newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. If you have questions or you'd like to be part of what we do, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for watching.
Business Equity and Opportunities is made possible by Indiana Economic Development Corporation.